What if the greatest victory over your enemy requires no anger, no revenge, and no fight at all? What if the most powerful way to defeat someone is by refusing to play their game? Most people think strength means confrontation. They believe power is loud, aggressive, and visible. But Stoic wisdom teaches something far more dangerous and far more effective. Imagine this. Someone tries to provoke you. They insult you, doubt you, compete with you, and maybe even try to harm your reputation. They expect a reaction. They expect you to defend, to attack back, to lose control. But instead, you stay calm. You improve, you grow, you succeed quietly, and suddenly, without throwing a single punch, you've already won. Real power is not in destroying others, it's in mastering yourself. Your enemies feed on your emotions. They want your anger, your frustration, and your attention. But when you deny them that fuel, they begin to lose control, not you. Stoicism teaches that the strongest response to negativity is discipline. The strongest revenge is self-control. The strongest victory is indifference. In this video, we're going to explore 7 Stoic ways to destroy your enemy without fighting. These are not tricks, not manipulation, not cruelty. These are strategies rooted in inner strength, ways to rise above conflict while protecting your peace and dignity. Because here's the truth. When you focus on growth instead of revenge, when you respond with calm instead of chaos, when you turn pain into discipline, you don't just defeat your enemy, you outgrow them. Stay with me until the end, because the last point may completely change how you deal with conflict for the rest of your life. Sometimes the most powerful move you can make is no move at all. And before we start, make sure you subscribe to the channel and tap the bell icon so you never miss the wisdom that can protect your mind, sharpen your focus, and change your life. Number 1. Master your emotions. Deny them the reaction they seek. Most enemies are not trying to defeat you physically. They are trying to control you emotionally. They provoke, they criticize, they gossip, they throw subtle insults wrapped in humor, not because they are strong, but because they are searching for your reaction. Your anger is their victory. Your outburst is their proof. The moment you lose control, they gain it. Think about daily life. Someone questions your ability in front of others. A colleague takes credit for your work. A family member presses on your insecurities. You feel it instantly, the heat rising, the urge to defend yourself, to strike back, to prove something. But here is the Stoic weapon, stillness. When you pause instead of reacting, you break their strategy. When you respond calmly instead of emotionally, you confuse them. When you smile instead of explode, you demonstrate power they cannot access. Emotional mastery is not suppression. It is discipline. It is the ability to feel anger without being owned by it, to feel insulted without collapsing into ego, to observe the situation as if from above and choose your response like a commander choosing strategy. Marcus Aurelius reminded himself daily that no one can harm your character without your permission. Your reaction is always yours, and here is the truth most people never understand. The strongest person in the room is the one who cannot be provoked. When your enemy realizes they cannot move you, cannot shake you, cannot manipulate you, frustration consumes them. They expected chaos, you gave them composure. They expected weakness, you gave them control. And in that silent moment, without shouting, without fighting, without revenge, you win. Number 2. Outgrow them through discipline and self-improvement. Some people expect you to stay small. They feel comfortable when you are stuck, confused, doubting yourself. Your limitations make them feel superior. That is why your growth unsettles them more than any argument ever could. The Stoic does not waste energy trying to win against an enemy. He chooses something far more devastating: evolution. While they gossip, you train. While they criticize, you study. While they watch, you build. Self-improvement is quiet revenge. It makes no announcements. It sends no warnings. It simply transforms you into someone unrecognizable. Think about this in real life. Someone once doubted your discipline. Someone laughed at your ambition. Someone assumed you would never change. Now imagine meeting them a year later. Stronger body, sharper mind, calmer presence, clearer direction. You did not argue. You did not explain. You simply outgrew the version of yourself they underestimated. That is psychological dominance. Growth shifts the power dynamic permanently. You move into rooms they cannot enter. You develop habits they cannot sustain. You build resilience they cannot imitate. And slowly their hostility becomes irrelevant, not because they changed, but because you ascended. Discipline is the bridge. Waking up when comfort begs you to sleep, practicing when excuses whisper, choosing consistency over mood. These daily victories compound into transformation. And here is the deeper truth. When you commit to becoming better, your enemy unknowingly becomes your fuel. Their doubt sharpens your focus. Their negativity strengthens your resolve. You don't destroy them by attacking. You destroy their influence by becoming untouchable. Because the greatest defeat an enemy can experience is watching the person they tried to hold back rise beyond their reach without ever looking back. Number 3. Control your reputation through consistent character. An enemy will often attack your name before they ever confront your face. They whisper, they exaggerate, they reshape stories to fit their narrative, because reputation is easier to damage than to defend, and they know most people panic when their image is questioned. But the Stoic understands something deeper. Reputation built on noise collapses quickly. Reputation built on character becomes unshakable. You cannot control what people say in private rooms. You cannot silence every rumor. And if you try, you will exhaust yourself chasing shadows. Instead, you do something far more powerful. You live in a way that makes lies fragile. Consistency is your shield. Show up on time. Keep your promises. Do your work with integrity when no one is watching. Treat people with fairness, even when it is inconvenient. Over time, patterns speak louder than accusations. In daily life, this is difficult. When you hear someone has misrepresented you, your instinct is to defend, to explain, to correct every detail. But frantic defense often looks like guilt. Calm confidence looks like truth. Let your actions repeat the same message every day. Reliability, discipline, honor. Eventually people notice. They compare the rumor to the reality. And when your life contradicts the false narrative, the narrative weakens on its own. Character is not built in one dramatic moment. It is carved in quiet repetition. And here is the silent victory. When your enemy realizes that despite their attempts, your reputation remains intact, not because you fought for it loudly, but because you lived for it consistently. You did not chase approval. You did not beg for validation. You simply became undeniable. And nothing frustrates an opponent more than integrity they cannot penetrate. Number 4. Refuse to compete in petty battles. Not every invitation deserves acceptance, and not every challenge deserves your energy. Your enemy often survives on small conflicts, tiny arguments, subtle comparisons, petty rivalries. They want your measuring, reacting, proving. Because the moment you step into their arena, you shrink to their level. Petty battles are seductive. They appeal to ego. Someone undermines you, and you want to correct them. Someone competes with you unnecessarily, and you want to outperform them immediately. Someone makes it personal, and your pride demands a response. But here is the uncomfortable truth. When you engage in small fights, you become small with them. The Stoic strategy is elevation. In daily life, this might mean refusing to argue over meaningless opinions. It might mean ignoring someone who constantly tries to compare achievements. It might mean declining to respond to sarcasm designed to bait you. Walking away is not weakness, it is filtration. You are deciding what deserves your focus. You are protecting your mental clarity like a scarce resource. Energy spent proving yourself to the insecure is energy stolen from building your future. And here is what happens psychologically. When you refuse to compete, the other person feels exposed. They were ready for a contest. You gave them indifference. They were prepared for resistance. You gave them distance. Suddenly, they are competing alone. Refusing petty battles communicates something powerful without saying a word. I am focused on something bigger, and that is the quiet humiliation for your enemy, realizing they were fighting for inches while you were building miles. You do not win by dominating small conflicts. You win by outgrowing the need for them. Number 5. Respond with unexpected kindness. There is a moment your enemy prepares for impact. They deliver the insult, they question your ability, they attempt to provoke you in front of others, and in their mind, they have already predicted your reaction, defensiveness, anger, tension. They are ready for resistance, but instead, you respond with calm respect, not sarcasm, not forced politeness, but deliberate composure. This is not weakness, this is mastery. Unexpected kindness disrupts the script. It creates psychological imbalance. When someone approaches you with hostility and you answer with steadiness, you shift the battlefield. Now they must confront themselves. In daily life, this looks like maintaining your tone when someone raises theirs, offering acknowledgement instead of argument, choosing dignity instead of ego. Kindness in this context is not submission. It is control over impulse. It is the quiet confidence that you are not threatened. And when a person senses that you are not threatened, their aggression loses oxygen. There is something deeply unsettling about attacking someone who refuses to attack back. It forces reflection. It exposes insecurity. It reveals who is truly unstable. The Stoics understood that your behavior reflects your values, not the behavior of others. If you allow someone's bitterness to dictate your character, you have surrendered sovereignty over yourself. But when you answer negativity with grounded grace, you send a silent message. Your hostility does not define me. And here is the hidden victory. People watching the interaction see the contrast. They see who is reactive and who is cantered. They see who is fragile and who is grounded. Sometimes the most devastating move is not retaliation, it is unshakable dignity. Number 6. Focus relentlessly on your purpose. Your enemy's greatest hope is not your failure, it is your distraction. They want you emotionally entangled, they want you replaying their words at night, they want you responding, defending and proving, because every second you spend thinking about them is a second stolen from your mission. Purpose is power and focus is armor. When your life is anchored to something meaningful, a vision, a craft, a long-term goal, petty hostility begins to look insignificant. You stop asking, how do I defeat them, and start asking, how do I build what I came here to build? In daily life, this requires discipline. You will be tempted to check what they said, to respond to criticism, to prove your worth publicly, but every time you resist that pull and redirect your energy back to your work, you win internally. The Stoic does not deny the existence of enemies, he simply refuses to center his life around them. Imagine this, while they analyze you, you are improving. While they compete with you, you are expanding. While they wait for you to react, you are progressing. Focus compounds, small daily actions, learning, training, creating, quietly accumulate into momentum, and momentum is unstoppable. Over time, something profound happens. Your success becomes too large to ignore, not because you fought them, but because you ignored them long enough to outgrow their influence entirely. There is a certain humiliation in realizing you were obsessed with someone who was too busy building to notice. Purpose keeps you forward-facing. It keeps your energy productive instead of reactive. You don't silence enemies by arguing. You silence them by becoming so committed to your path that their noise fades into irrelevance, and when your results speak, explanations become unnecessary. Number 7. Win through patience. Time exposes all. There is something most impulsive people never understand. Time is undefeated. Your enemy may lie today. They may celebrate small victories. They may manipulate perceptions, twist narratives, or rush to claim temporary advantage. In the moment, it can feel unfair. It can feel like injustice is winning. But patience is not passive, it is strategic endurance. The Stoic knows that truth does not panic, integrity does not rush, character does not need immediate applause. Time has a way of revealing patterns, and patterns cannot hide forever. In daily life, this means resisting the urge to respond instantly. It means allowing situations to unfold without forcing outcomes. It means trusting that consistency over months and years will speak louder than emotional reactions ever could. People who operate through deception eventually contradict themselves. Those driven by ego eventually expose insecurity. Those fueled by envy eventually self-sabotage. You don't have to interfere. Human nature handles that on its own. Patience gives you clarity. While others scramble, you observe. While they rush decisions, you calculate. While they burn bridges in frustration, you build quietly. And here is the deeper power. When you remain steady over time, you develop resilience they cannot imitate. You become durable, unshaken, grounded. There is a certain poetic justice in watching someone unravel because they relied on shortcuts while you relied on principles. Victory through patience is not dramatic. It is subtle. It is watching chaos exhaust itself while you remain standing. You don't defeat your enemy by overpowering them. You defeat them by outlasting them. Because in the end, time reveals character, and only one of you will still be standing with it intact. Victory. It doesn't roar. It doesn't demand attention, and it does not come to those who react impulsively. True victory is silent, invisible, unstoppable, and now it can be yours. Every enemy you face, every person trying to provoke or undermine you, loses their power the moment you refuse to give it to them. Your calm, your focus, your growth, these are the weapons no one sees coming. While they chase chaos, you rise above. While they waste energy on anger, you build strength, and while they fight to bring you down, you are already untouchable. This is why what you've learnt in this video isn't just information, it's a life-changing strategy. Apply these 7 Stoic ways and you don't need to strike or argue. You don't need to compete for attention. You simply exist above the noise, and that alone destroys the enemy's control over you. But don't keep this power to yourself. Share this video. Share it with someone struggling with toxic people, envy or conflict. Every like, every share, every comment spreads this wisdom to someone who needs it now. Make sure to subscribe the channel and tap the bell icon. This channel is your guide to mental strength, inner calm, and unshakable discipline. Every video is designed to sharpen your mind, protect your energy, and transform how you respond to the world. Before you go, I want you to claim this for yourself. Go to the comments and write this short affirmation. I am calm, I am unstoppable. Say it, own it, let it sink in. Because the moment you declare it, nothing outside can control your mind, your focus, or your path. Thank you for watching until the very end. Keep this wisdom close. Practice it daily. Let it guide your choices, protect your peace, and turn every attack, insult, and provocation into nothing more than an opportunity to rise. The strongest strike is quiet, the deadliest power is unseen, and now that power belongs to you.